You're listening to Bedtime Stories with Mika J, a space where the day slows down, the noise fades out, and your spirit finally gets a chance to breathe. Each night, I'll share a new story. Sometimes it's a mystery, sometimes it's a memory, but always there's a message tucked inside, just waiting for you to find it. So take a breath, get comfortable, close your eyes, and let's begin. Tonight's voice doesn't belong to Malcolm. It belongs to a woman named Miss Adeline. This is the Teacup. Her name was Miss Adeline Monroe, 83 years old, 5 feet tall, sharp as a sewing needle, and full of those quiet, graceful kinds of truth you only gather after living through everything. She lived alone in a house she shared with her husband until he passed in 97. A modest yellow bungalow on Pine Street with a porch swing that creaked when no one sat in it. Every morning, Miss Adeline woke up at 6 o'clock a.m., not because she had somewhere to be, but because her body was used to moving before the sun. But she didn't start her day at 6. She waited. She waited for the kettle to warm. She waited for the birds to settle on the wires outside. She waited for the exact moment the kitchen clock hit 6:07 a.m. That's when she poured her tea, always from the same kettle, always into the same chip porcelain cup, delicate with fading blue flowers and a long, thin crack down one side. She never tried to replace it, never glued it, never turned the crack to the back to hide it from company. She said, "A cracked teacup just means it lived a little, and I trust things that have lived." Her mornings were filled with ritual and stillness. No TV, no cell phone, just the light through the lace curtain, the steam curling from her cup, and a low hum of her refrigerator singing a lullaby from the corner. On this particular morning, she sat in her chair by the window with her favorite sweater wrapped tight, soft, old, and smelling faintly of lavender and lemon oil. Outside, kids were walking to school with heavy backpacks and sleepy eyes. Mailboxes creaked open, car doors slammed. But inside, Adeline's kitchen, the world was as calm as her heartbeat. She glanced towards the windowsill, where an old shoebox sat, brown, taped at the corners, the lid slightly bent. She hadn't opened it in over 10 years. She wasn't avoiding it. She just hadn't felt the need to. But today, something in the light, or maybe the quiet, made her reach for it. She pulled it onto the table slowly, like it weighed more than the cardboard box and paper. In a way, it did. Inside were letters, dozens of them, written in her own handwriting, folded neatly, some yellowed with time. She read the top one aloud. "Dear Mama, I forgive you, not knowing how to say things I needed to hear." Her eyes didn't water. She wasn't sad. She read the next one. "To the version of me that stayed, thank you. You saved my life more than once." And another. "Dear George, you were never coming back, but I kept the porch light on anyway, and I'm not ashamed of that." She closed her eyes, sat still. The teacup in her hand had gone lukewarm, but she didn't mind. In that moment, Miss Adeline felt lighter, not because the past was gone, but because she no longer needed to carry it the same way. At the bottom of the box was a tape recorder. She took it out, noticed that there was an empty tape in it. She decided to record herself, and she said, "People always talk about letting go like it's loud, like it's slamming doors or burning bridges, but really letting go, real letting go, it's quiet. It sounds like the crack in this cup, not spreading any further. It feels like reading a letter and not needing to rewrite it. It's the moment you realize you can keep something and still be free of it." She placed the recorder back in the box. She placed the letters back in the box. She tied a piece of ribbon around it. stood up slow, her knees cracking like old floorboards, and she slid the box back onto the windowsill. She looked down at her cup. She took one final sip and smiled. Some things don't need fixing. Some hearts don't need healing. They just need someone to notice the way they've kept beating through every single storm. Just like that old teacup. It was cracked, but it never broke. It was still full of warmth, still showing up, and still here. Sleep well tonight. And if there's anything in your heart that you're holding, maybe it's not time to throw it out. Maybe it's time to hold it more gently. This has been Bedtime Stories with Meika J. Good night.